Welcome to the Entrepreneurial Biome podcast, a space for nurturing the ecosystem of business, body, and living. What would it be like if you gave your body a leadership role in your business and chose greater happiness every day? These are the conditions that create a healthy biome and a thriving business. I'm your host, Heather Nichols, and I'm so happy you're here. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Entrepreneurial Biome podcast. Oh my goodness. I am home after, it feels like 4 or 5 weeks of travel, lots of classes, lots of change. And I am a different creature than I was a month ago. So much change. And I came home and I've been sort of cocooning and sort of like not really wanting to talk to anybody, which is why I thought it would be a good idea to do a podcast. Sometimes when we don't feel like doing anything or talking to anybody or creating anything, sometimes, listen to the wisdom of that. And sometimes it's good to just like get back on the horse, so to speak, and step into the space. And I think for me, it's like, so often we want to have feel like we've got our shit together, before we put ourselves out to the public. And that's been one of the things that I've asked for over and over again over the years, is to not have to be perfect with my audience, and like just in the world, audience, no audience, whatever you may be, people that play with my stuff. But yeah, I'm not interested in that way of doing business, where I pretend like I'm perfect and everybody thinks that I'm perfect. And no, not interested in that. I'm interested in vulnerability and being real and inviting people to the imperfection and the beauty of imperfection with creation and how we be. And so I just kind of felt like this morning I was doing a bowspring class, a bowspring movement class. Many of you know what that is. Some of you don't. It's an incredible movement form that is so expansive and really changes everything in our bodies and in our worlds. And it's like one of the most incredible things I have found in my life so far. And I was very triggered in this class, which happens actually kind of a lot when I take more intense classes. And I'm being guided through an intense practice. It's like I start to, my nervous system starts to change. And that was going on this morning. And I was just staying with it and staying with it and staying with it. And as it was just so cool what was showing up, and how incredibly uncomfortable I was, for one, and also just, a sense of just like really wanting to stay with the discomfort, like not to hold on to it, but just not run away from it, and watching myself even wanting to run away from it. And I was like, this would be a really great thing to make a podcast about, because it's so often that any sort of discomfort, whether it's physical, emotional, energetic, spiritual, relational, whatever it may be. So often we try to handle that and, have a sense of trying to like smooth it out and make it go away and get ourselves back to a comfortable place. And for me, it's like, I really love actually being uncomfortable. I find it fascinating. I'm very intrigued by it, and I'm very curious about the discomfort, because I know for me that when I have discomfort, it means that I'm stepping into something greater, and that's a lot of what's going on right now. Somehow, whatever I've chosen in the past, well, many years, but like there's something that's occurred in the past month that has a lot of things that have occurred, a lot of change, some of which I could speak to, some of which I can't, because it's just energetic change in the world and in all the classes that I've been part of and facilitated and participated in. And it's like I'm a completely different person. And we had a podcast that was slated to go out today, and I was like, it doesn't even read anymore. Like I need to just record something new, because I'm new and there's new conversations available to be had. So here I am. And I messaged my team, can we get this out at the last minute? Because this is going to be published in just a few hours. And everybody was like, yep. So now it's so what I wanted to just come here and jam about bodies and movement and our fascia and discomfort and change and so many things. I did an episode called Be Moved a few weeks ago, I think it was. I'm not sure, maybe a month ago. And I got a lot of great feedback about that. So I kind of wanted to have this be a continuation of that conversation as well. And uh, because one of the things that I'm just so grateful for, and I find like truly one of the most fascinating studies of my life, is the degree to which our bodies can give us information about the world, about what we're creating, about the exploration of ourselves, about our relationships, about what our bodies require. There's so many aspects of that, of what our bodies know, and our bodies have this incredible consciousness of their own. Our bodies have a unique consciousness. And in a lot of ways, our bodies are totally conscious. They don't have, like, the organism of your body doesn't have a mind. Your mind is kind of its own thing. And it doesn't, if your body functioned more like an animal, it wouldn't have a mind. It would function as the organism that it is, not as the, mind on legs that so many people are. And so to me, it's been one of my sort of lifelong explorations, to allow my body to gift me so much of its wisdom, basically. And today, when I was moving, one of the things that I'm so fascinated by is the like the study and the experience and the energetic transformation that occurs when our bodies are in movement in a particular way. And with bowspring, I've never moved my body in that way. I've done a lot of things in my lifetime. I was a dancer. I did ballet for 16 years. I was a NIA teacher for 13 years. I have always, like, here and there and everywhere, throughout my life, different phases, been a runner. I was a diver. I was a cheerleader. I was a gymnast. And a yogi, all the things, and a figure skater, and a bowspringer. Now a bowspringer. And the thing about bowspring is that it takes, like, you can feel the fascia in action and in movement, and it takes the fascia, which is the connective tissue that wraps everything in our body. It wraps our muscles, our connective tissue, our bones, our nerves, our everything. It wraps all of that. And you take the fascia, and through the like creating tone in your body, we engage our bodies in a uniform tone. So not just like when I do this, I'm toning my bicep, but I'm actually like creating a spiral in my arm that tones everything, and everything wraps and everything hugs the bones, and the bones love to be hugged. So we create this tone that draws the energy in to hug the bones through the engagement of our muscles and the engagement of our tissue, and then we provide directionality to it. We create a rotation, or we an expansion open, and bowspring is incredibly expansive, like to a degree that can be very triggering. It can be confronting, because we so desire, like so many people desire, to live closed, and we close our bodies down in order to close ourselves down. And when we do that, we close our lives down. We close down what we can create. We close down our money flows. We close down our creative possibilities, basically. And so when we begin to create this uniform tone in the body that is this expansive, it's like we hug in and then we expand out. And you can feel, like this morning in the practice for me, I could feel this, like it's like this juxtaposition of this like hugging, holding, nurturing energy as I expand with my rib cage and my joints and all these different places in my body. And it's like as I do that, there's this like dynamic change, and we call it tensegrity, that gets created in the body, where you have this like this healthy tension that creates integrity, and this opening that is that changes your structure. It changes the organization of your body, and as you change the structure and the organization of your body, your life changes. And this is it's so incredible to me, and so fascinating to me, and such an amazing gift. And it is not easy necessarily. It can be incredibly joyful and not necessarily easy. And so I was noticing that this morning. It's like this sense of like I am like stretching and like directing my body into a new structure, a new way of holding itself, a new way of being, which translates into all of the stuff, all of the energetic and emotional and psychological and all the stuff, the trauma, all of that that's like held in my tissue, gets actually invited to a different reality, released, expanded, and opened and transformed. And so it's this incredible way to transform our bodies from the inside out. And as we do that, we transform our lives from the inside out. They go hand in hand. As you access the consciousness of your body, as you access the expansiveness of your body, as you access a different way of being with your body, a different way of holding your body, a different way of moving your body, a different presence in your body, bringing your back body online, creating this expansiveness that just like where your body like holds itself in this buoyant kind of anti-gravitational structure, a different kind of structure than the solid structure, like a tensegrous structure, a viscous structure, a fluid structure. As you reshape your body to exist, to live, to move in the world with that structure, that new buoyant, anti-gravitational, viscous, gel-like, liquid fluid structure that has so much more light and so much more consciousness woven through your molecules and your cells, your whole life begins to take that form as well. When you do a practice like bowspring, you can't, it's like it just ripples out into everything in your life. Um, because you can't change your body. You can't take your body from closed phone, computer, this whole thing that people do where we just get into our screens and we like close down and we like hyperextend our back and we shut down the front. our back has no strength because the strength of the back is when we're in our curves, and we like totally atrophy our bodies. And by like going into the world of technology, and as we do so, it's like we become zombies. We become zombies in the world. We become zombies to the world of technology, um, and we like our bodies shut down and we shut down, and it's so insidious and so subtle in a way, but like so obvious too when you start to change and look at from a different point of view. And it's one of those things that like for me, I really wish to live in a world where that isn't about me being in my phone all the time and being on the computer all the time and being, and I mean, I'm so grateful for things like this platform, and the electronics and all the things that are like allow this message and to get out into the world and for us to communicate. I mean, I know people all over the world that I adore and I'm so grateful for, that I've never met in person, and some of whom I have, but through the beauty of technology and social media. And so it's been such a gift. And I can see where it's like, it's not what it used to be, you know? I mean, it's never been the answer, and I'm digressing, but to me, this is when you change your body to a more open, engaged, buoyant, tensegrous way of being, then it's like we want to engage in the world in a different way, and your body becomes like this open vessel, prepped and prepared um, and supportive of you bringing to yourself to the world in a different way. And I am, I used to practice movement therapy. I was a somatic psychotherapist, which means body-centered psychotherapy. And one of the things I learned in that beautiful modality that I practiced, was that the body will always, when given our attention, when given our presence, the body will always unwind, unfurl, and move us and show us, like move us in the direction of greater and show us what it knows. The body has this innate ability to unwind itself, and as a result, if we're willing to receive, to unwind us in the direction of greater. And so I I it was such a gift in those years of doing the body-centered psychotherapy, and I did a lot of trauma work as well, to really to get to sit with people and their bodies and have their bodies actually like unwind, right in front of our very eyes, and not from anything that we were imposing on the body or that they were imposing on the body, but just it's like, okay, the body has front and center stage right now, and the body's we're going to engage the client's body, like we're going to engage with your body by asking questions and getting curious and discovering what it has to say, what it has to show you. And in doing so, we're going to see what this body, um, what it really has to, what it knows, and it was every single time, every single session, the person's body, the person would go on this journey with their body, and their body would just unwind trauma and unwind, emotional, things and energetic things, and it would just heal. Like our bodies know how to heal, not just themselves, but our whole universe, our whole world. Our bodies know how to do that. But we don't take the time and the presence with our bodies to give them the space to show us what that is. And so it was such a gift to me, and still is, to be with people and to allow their bodies to unwind, unfurl, and show us and show them, really what they are capable of. And in doing so, have somebody's entire life change and have their body become easier. And that's one of the things that has happened for me. I started doing bowspring just over a year ago. And I really committed to, well, I just committed to it right away. I loved it so much, and my body was just like, wow. And so um, I, I stepped into, I stepped into the practice in a big way, and then in the fall, of this year, I really, so I guess maybe like, I don't know, 9 months ago or so, I really I just committed to doing it every day. And, some days I really don't want to. Like today, I was like, "I do not wanna do this class right now. This class, I know this class is gonna kick my butt, and I do not really feel like it right now." And I'm like, "Get on your friggin' mat and do it?" And I did, and I'm so different now afterwards, and it wasn't easy for me to do the class. It was challenging, and I wanted to stop, and I was, like, feeling these sensations that were uncomfortable, but what Bowspring has contributed to my journey is this sense of, um it's unwound my body. Like, there were all these patterns in my body that were not healthy, these holding patterns, and I'm very athletic, and, I've been a mover my whole life. And a body person, but there were these, like, ingrained and embedded patterns in my body that were like really held, and my body had like organized around them to hold them in place, and to hide stuff from me, and to hide stuff from the world, and to tuck little traumas away here and there. And when you start to do bowspring, one of the things Desi Springer, one of the creators of bowspring, she says, it you like nothing can hide. It highlights the weakness. So it shines the light on the weakness, not just in the body, but in our energetic system and how it shows up in our body. And so all these things started to unwind and unfurl and unwind and unfurl. And it was like, wow, I've got, like, it actually kind of like sent me into this, um, healing crisis in a way, like where my body actually, I started to have a lot more pain than I had had before. But it was like my body has been like unwinding itself completely, and unwinding all of this trauma and these holding patterns through this practice. And then also I'd been receiving a lot of body work, energetic body work, fascia work, the pelvic floor work, like all kinds of body work that has been huge for me. And it's like I just keep following my body and letting my body show me, like, okay, now let's do this, let's do this, let's do this. And as I it's been this incredible healing journey. Almost makes me want to cry because I'm so grateful for our bodies and for my body. It's like, because my body now, and with everything that I've done, like all this energetic change and physical change and structural change and change with my fascia, and I mean, a million tools from a million modalities that I'm so grateful for. My body is like, it feels now stronger, more integrous, more alive, more gel-like and viscous, more open than ever before in my life. Like, I actually have a sense of strength in my body that I've never had before, and I've been very athletic. And I know, and the thing is, bowspring is such a humbling practice, because I actually am, like, I struggle sometimes when I do it. So it's like there's no end to the journey of what's possible with this practice. and with our bodies. And the amazing thing to me is to like succumb to the journey of that. And because you can just decide to never change anything, not work with your body, not move your body, not, you know, like listen to your body and develop a relationship with it that is really different. And your life will go a certain way. I mean, like your body is this incredible treasure trove that is right here all the time. And it's available to us all the time. The wisdom of our body is available to us all the time. It's right there. And we do so many things to ignore it. We go to technology, we go to addiction in the form of making ourselves wrong, addiction in the form of drugs, food, alcohol, relationships, sex, all these things. And all of it is this like negation of ourselves and negation of our bodies. And when we start to move in this way that opens and challenges and reorganizes and like stretches your body out of these holding patterns into something very different, and your whole nervous system reorganizes around it, your whole life just changes. And I'm so grateful and so fascinated and so excited to be playing with more of this. And this to me is really like I have this new class that I'm doing, and it's called Be Moved, and it's a 2.5 day basically class. And I'm going to be doing one in Chicago starting May 31st, I believe it is May 31st, June 1st and 2nd. The evening of May 31st, of Friday night, Saturday, Sunday. I'm going to be doing one in Boulder in July, probably one in Seattle at some point as well, and wherever else in the world. Invite me if you want me to come. Let's do it. I want to take it on the road. And this is what we explore in this Be Moved class. And people are like, what is this thing? What is this Be Moved? And it's not just a bowspring class. We use bowspring as a tool to access these places, and then tools of somatic psychotherapy, movement therapy, dance, trauma work, some of the trauma work that I used to do, some of the tools from Access Consciousness, using all of these tools to facilitate you to have a different sense of your body, a different connection to it, a different communion with it, to allow it to unwind and to allow your whole life to become greater, so that your body really becomes this source of movement and beauty and creation that you have available all the time, and that gets greater all the time. And so I'm really excited to be doing these classes. They are in person only. I want to be belly to belly with people way more. So it's going to be, for me, a lot more Be Moved classes, 3-day body classes. And then I'm going to be doing some bowspring classes here in Boulder, if you live in Colorado. And also I'm going to be doing an online bowspring series soon as well. I don't have links for that yet, but you can check on my website, heathernichols.com, to find more and, stay connected here on the Entrepreneurial Biome podcast, and also in the YouTube. I've got a bunch of stuff on YouTube as well, and my newsletter and all that stuff. So what is possible with our bodies that we haven't even begun to tap into, and I invite you and your body to the journey of more. Thank you so much for you. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this, please share it with your peeps. I would like for the world to have this conversation in a way greater way. And what can we create with our bodies when we get out of judgment of them and see them as a resource? Thanks so much. Bye for now. Thank you for joining me for the Entrepreneurial Biome podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, share, and subscribe. For more resources, check out my website at heathernichols.com and my social media channels as well. Have a beautiful day, and remember that your business thrives when you do.